Any questions for the court or your attorney before we proceed?
No, Your Honor.
As to count 1, felony bail jump, an H felony, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
As to count 2, possession of methamphetamine, an I felony, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
Court will find your pleas of guilt are done knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. I'm going to find that you understand your constitutional rights and what it means to waive and give up those rights. I'm going to find a factual basis to accept your pleas of guilt. Based on that, I will find you guilty of count 1 and count 2 and 23 CF 6-1. The remaining charges will be dismissed and read in for sentencing purposes, as well as 23 CF 103. Judgment of conviction will be entered today. Argument and sentencing recommendation, Mr. Rennick.
Your Honor, this defendant does have quite a history and quite a criminal record, I think, including felony OWI is going up to, I think, OWI 10. He's been to prison. I think there's a clear and present AODA issue. He's of an age where we're hoping to see him aging out of the criminal justice system, but he clearly needs services and AODA issues and help with that. He may have some medical issues as well. He has received an immediate punishment because he has served at least 63 days of jail so far on this file. And so given his history and his age and the nature of the cases that we have and the underlying criminality, we would recommend a withheld sentence and 3 years of probation.
The judge walks in already frustrated. This case has gone on far too long, Ms. Wolf outlines the chaos. No contact from the other side, no follow-through on agreements, and a critical deadline missed since September 25th, 22-4. The courtroom. Tension rises immediately. It's a warning shot. The judge is seconds away from slamming the gavel
with any programming for the Department of Corrections, which would include an AODA assessment and follow any treatment and recommendations. We think absolute sobriety, no use or possession of drugs or illegal drugs or drugs without a prescription or paraphernalia with either random and or regular testing. We would ask for the DNA sample and then the appropriate court costs associated with that. But we believe that given the immediate incarceration, that he can be treated in the community and with the supervision, hopefully he can remain law abiding. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Davis.
Number 1, Your Honor, is this a serious offense? Offenses, yes. I'm not going to make a lazy argument as to why they are not serious. But I do want to go to my client's character and his rehabilitative needs. I'm sure the court's aware who Jason is. He's been through the system. There's definitely an addiction problem. And there's also the reason for the addiction, which he now needs to face and go through that trauma therapy and go through the rehabilitation too. What's interesting about this is I don't get very many clients, but I think the way the system's set up is you probation, then there's county jail, and eventually it's a prison sentence. And I think I remember, and I forget which attorney who called it like an installment. They're like an installment person that you keep doing and doing and doing, and finally you'll end up in prison. Jason has done such. And my whole point is, I think when you go to prison or you go to jail or you're in and out of county jail, it's a punishment. And after talking to Jason, I think he finally hit the rock bottom. Like he's just exhausted with it. That it's more tiring now to want to not follow the probation or continue with sobriety. I think he's just sick of it, and it's no way for him to live. He has support, his significant others here. I've been in contact with her. And the other issue that's going on with Jason too is, I believe he was, and he can talk more about it. And if he's upset that I'm doing, I apologize ahead of time, but diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago.
Judge, why shouldn't I dismiss this with prejudice? That question hangs. Mulligan offers vague excuses, referencing irrelevant email chains and failed communication. The judge isn't buying it. She recites a series of dates: July 25th, August 9th, September 26th, April 4th, like an indictment.
Never did anything about no treatment, nothing. Just put it off. And was using drugs and not facing reality. And now finally, Judge, he has an appointment set up in August here to actually deal with a problem, to face his problems, as scary as they may be. I'm imagine, I've never had it, but I'm sure he's scared. And I think a lot of times people don't like to face that problem and they'll do other things or they're self-medicate, but it looks like he's ready to face the music on that. And as going forward, methamphetamine is not going to cure cancer. It's not going to put him in a place where he's employed or working or living in the community. I can also let the court know that I believe he's got to sit in jail until November 23rd. So he's going to be sitting for months still coming to go. And I do think the way he speaks to me, and Judge, this court's seen methamphetamine users daily. They try and control the conversation or manipulate it or have a justification. Jason's polite. He listens. I listen to him, and I just think at his age, I think he's ready. I think what the district attorney said is you hope at a certain age you just get broken down. And I think he's done. I think he's finished with being in this system. He doesn't want to be part of the criminal system anymore. And again, I just want to make it quite clear that this has been one of the most polite clients I've had, and I don't say that sparingly because everyone's different. There's aggressive people, but he's just been listened. He's been attentive. He asks great questions, and he fills me in on his life. And he's not guarded. And I just think that I'm asking you to consider this joint recommendation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Mr. Belisle, do you care to make a statement here today?
Yes, Your Honor. This is probably when most of you'll ever hear me talk, or anybody ever hear me talk, but ever since I was like a young little kid, 6 years old, I got counted out because I spoke up on something, and I got thrown away more or less as I see it. But I carried that throughout my whole life to keep stuff to myself. And like, I left high school. I ended up in Flandreau, South Dakota, just for something I did, good choices I did. I come back to Siren.
The moment of truth. The judge asks, "Did you get the transcript?" Coo. Mulligan fumbles. First, yes, then maybe, then no. He claims he thought it was part of the record. But the judge stops him cold. You knew the difference. Caught lying on the record in front of the judge.
Nobody knew I only had half a credit to go to graduate, and I quit school because I was hooked on shooting cocaine. Then at 96, my brother caught me, John Boy caught me shooting cocaine, and I promised him I'd never do it again. I'd never have touched a needle again. Then in 2012, I found out I'm going blind, but obviously I'm still seeing for some reason, but because I surpassed the doctors on that. And I basically broke my back. 2012, went through surgery, and I ended up dying in St. Mary's from double pneumonia. But I don't know, whatever I seen and heard from over there brought me back. Then in 7/19/13 is the last time I drove drunk. Haven't drove drunk, driving ever since. It's because of what I see now. When I do get behind the wheel, I will not drive at night. And 8/19 last year is the last, no, 8/13 last year is the last time I used heroin. And I owe that to Pastor Jack. And Pastor Jack, I known him before he was a pastor, because me and him used to drink together in back bars, and I think we used to fight too, but I owe him my life for saving me on the heroin, because he was the only one that came down from Superior to help me when I asked for help. I asked for help around here, then nobody would help me. They counted me out. And then I'm gonna boldly say that November or May 24th is the last time I used meth this year, because I'm just turned 47 in jail upstairs, and I'm just sick of it. Spent half my life upstairs or in prison. I missed my kid's birthday by eight days, his 18th birthday. And that kind of sucks. And it's everything's that, I guess I'm a slow learner or whatever, but I'm learned, I learned. Sick of this because my whole life revolves around drugs or alcohol, and that's what made me in the courtroom here. But like, yeah, my attorney says, Mr. Davis, he yelled at me. Yeah, he yelled at me, and he didn't know me from here to here. And
Mulligan backpedals hard. He tries to explain, blames miscommunication, even hints he might have misunderstood. But it's too late. The judge isn't just disappointed, she's furious. You made a misrepresentation to this court, she snaps. The damage is done. Ms. Wolf, barely, needs to say a word. The facts speak for themselves.
he hit every spot that right on the button. And I just told him, thank you, And yeah, I got diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago, and yeah, that's when I fell off. That's when, if you see what happened in the last 3 years, that's where all my criminal cases come from. Because I gave up. But then, after I left Ruth House in August or December, because I lost one of my best friends and whatever, she left, and I felt alone. But then, I don't know, it sounds like BS, but it's the truth. I prayed to God that send me my angel, whatever. That needs help. And then a couple of weeks after that, Michelle showed up at my son's house. And I don't know, it just scared me because there was a silhouette in the window. It looked like she had wings. So I don't know if you want to call that fate or whatever it is. But right now, I feel like today I got the best sport team that I have ever had in my life. I moved off the res, and that was my rut. I feel that was my rut, going back to the res all the time. Just going back to the same BS and whatever. But I don't know. Today, I just want to live. I want to live whatever time I got left. I don't know. Today, I just want to live. I want to live whatever time I got left. I promised my son that I wouldn't leave him again. And he agrees with me. He said, all right, Dad. Because, I don't know. There's another thing about my son. He has never ever called any woman, any girl I brought home, a mom.
Megaseconds. Wolf lays out the timeline like a prosecutor. Every email, every call, every missed deadline. Mulligan's defense crumbles under the weight of actual facts. The judge orders costs to be paid, confirms the dismissal stands, and issues a final warning to never mislead the court again. A brutal end, but a fair one. Because in court, truth isn't optional, it's mandatory.
But he's seen Michelle, and he's the first woman I ever introduced him to. And that's it. All he said was, "Is that my stepmom?" He don't even call his own mom. So it's kind of threw me off the loop, and I just thanked him. Because she's the first woman he ever agreed to, or whatever. But I don't know. It's just, me, you know me from school and stuff, and I don't ask for help. And when I do, it's kind of at the dire need or whatever. But long story short, I use my anger for motivation. I'm really pissed off at myself for this bull BS. Because I know better, and I know I'm better than this. And this is the longest ever, when I got out of prison, I told P.O. that let me do this stuff on my own. I'll show you, prove it to you that I'll do everything that I say I'm going to do, and I'll be out as long as I ever have. And I have. Ask Amber that, and I just don't mince my words with her no more. I just tell her everything. I'm just tired of being told how to live my life when I know what I got to do, and I can do it, and I will do it. I just need the chance to prove it. And that's what I asked the court today to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Delisle. And you're right, that's the most, I think, words I've heard you say in 40 years. Granted, we had a long time of space where we didn't see each other or whatnot, but Mr. Davis, I don't know if you're one of the attorneys that I've said this to. I think I have in the past to you, but I know I have in other cases with Mr. Belial when he's in front of me. I've known Mr. Belial long time. He was in my class, older. I don't know if he missed a grade or whatnot, but the first time when I came on the bench and I saw Mr. Belial, and I think he was appearing from prison, I think at that time, the first hearing or something like that. I was so shocked because Jason was always very polite, very kind, very caring, very, very quiet. And he kept to himself. But when you got him talking though, and you talked about something, you can always tell if he cared because then he would lighten up. The keeper.
Trying to.
Well, you need to take care of that, and you need to take care of your other issues. You've been going blind for a long time. You shouldn't be driving. No, I shouldn't be driving. You need to